Human behavior's dark psychology works like an invisible system that most people fail to notice, yet it affects every moment of their lives. Because although we tend to see ourselves as fully conscious, rational, and in control beings, in reality our brains make most decisions through fast, automatic, and emotional systems. This means that a large portion of the choices we make in daily life are not actually decisions we consciously think through, but rather reactions created by shortcuts in the brain. And at this point, one of the most interesting truths emerges. People often do things without knowing why they are doing them, yet still believe they are completely conscious of their actions. For example, following a behavior in a crowd without questioning it, or obeying something said by an authority figure, even when we feel doubt inside, are actually among the most fundamental mechanisms of human psychology. Here, social conformity, authority influence, and cognitive biases come into play. Social conformity is when a person can even change their thoughts just to avoid being alone. In other words, even if you know something is right, if the majority thinks differently, your brain starts to think, maybe I am the one who is wrong. And this process happens unconsciously because the human brain avoids conflict. Authority influence is even stronger because people often care not about whether something is true, but about who says it. This is why, throughout history, ordinary people have done things they would normally never do, simply because they were ordered to. Studies such as the Milgram experiment have proven this and show that when people transfer responsibility to someone else, they can temporarily silence their conscience. Another important factor is habituation, because the human brain normalizes things that repeat constantly. What initially feels wrong or strange can become ordinary over time, which is why small behavioral changes can lead to large consequences. This raises a critical question. If people are so easily influenced, are they truly making their own decisions, or are they shaped by their environment? Philosophy offers different answers to this question. According to Hobbes, human nature is based on survival, so people often act according to their interests. In this view, what we call evil is actually a survival strategy. Kant, on the other hand, argues the opposite, claiming that humans are capable of understanding what is right, but do not always choose it. In other words, the problem is not lack of knowledge, but weakness of will. Nietzsche presents a more radical perspective, arguing that concepts of good and evil are created by humans, and that in reality only power and will exist. When these three perspectives are combined, a deeper question emerges. Is human being truly free, or just a product of circumstances? Even in daily life, we can see these effects. People may gradually adopt an idea they see on social media as if it were their own, may hesitate to think differently within a group, or may accept a repeated belief without questioning it. The most dangerous point here is this. People usually do not realize they are being manipulated because manipulation does not work through direct force, but through small and unnoticed influences. An idea, a habit, or the perception that everyone does it this way slowly changes a person's decision-making process, and the individual believes it comes from themselves rather than from outside influence. Thus, the most important truth of dark psychology is this. People often think they are thinking their own thoughts, but in reality they are simply repeating what they are exposed to. So does this mean humans are completely uncontrollable? No, because the strongest human ability is awareness. When a person begins to understand these mechanisms, they start to question automatic reactions, notice the influence of the crowd, and observe their own thought process. This creates a small but very important space of freedom. In other words, dark psychology does not only show how people are manipulated, but also how they can escape it. And perhaps the most important question begins here. If some of your thoughts are not truly yours, how do you really know who you are?